morning. We are back with Pick Connection Podcast. I'm your host, Anna, and we have Alec, Italiano again.
Hi, everybody.
And our new special guest today is Michel Keller.
Hello.
She is our Vice President of Workforce and Education.
Welcome to the show, Michelle.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
So what was your background before you came to Pick? What was like, where did you go to school? What kind of other positions have you held? Stuff like that.
Okay. Well, I grew up in Westmoreland County and I went to Penn Trafford High School. And
Go Warriors.
Yeah, go Warriors. And I attended Pitt at Greensburg. So I still stayed local. I lived at home and commuted.
Nice.
And went to school there. After that, I worked for, it was called Montauk Community Services. It was my first real job, out of college. And I worked with individuals that had either mental health diagnosis or intellectual disability. So it was like a group home that I worked in. It was shift work,
You said Montauk.
Yeah,
was it in Menneson or?
It was actually in Duquesne. It was it was a home that was right by Kennywood.
Gotcha.
So I worked there for about a year and the shifts just were a lot. I liked the work, but the shifts were a lot. So then I worked at Monsoor Medical Center. They had an inpatient psychiatric unit. And my mom had worked there for a lot of years. So I'm like, I'm going to go work with my mom. So I started that and worked there for about 2 years. And then I started working at Westmoreland Case Management and Supports. They're the base service unit for Westmoreland County. So all the jobs were lucky, enough to be close to home and so on. And I worked there for 22 years. So that's where I came from. I like to say I retired from there because I worked for so long, but unfortunately, I have another probably 22 years to go with working. So.
Don't say that, like a few years here and there, So, well, welcome to the Pick family.
Yes.
I think it's a great addition. We're all excited to have you here and working with Vice President of Workforce and Education. So you'll be helping me out on the workforce side and then all of our educational programs too. So it's a lot, but it's exciting. So
yeah, I'm excited to be a part of the career link systems and all of the young adult programs and so on, because I do have a history with those. So I'm excited to oversee them and work with everybody.
So what is our topic of conversation today during this podcast, Anna?
So everybody knows COVID hit a lot of people with job loss and stuff like that. So with that comes money loss. So there's some easy side hustles we're going to talk about.
Side hustle.
Yeah, they're all good and they're reputable businesses. It's just ways to make people have some extra cash on hand for the holiday season, no matter what holiday you celebrate. It's nice to have a little bit of extra cash.
Definitely. So
one of the first areas that you can start looking into is delivering food. So that could be anything from, there's Uber Eats, Postmates, DoorDash is really popular in this area with the colleges all around here.
Right.
There's a thing called Instacart, which is part of like a grocery shopping experience.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm familiar with the Instacart one.
Yeah.
So Instacart.
Is it owned by Instagram?
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah.
Really? Okay,
Yeah.
good.
I'm smart of them.
I was like, okay, maybe just go on Instagram and set up that kind of stuff. All of these are actually really simple. So Instacart, to begin with, you go on to shoppers.instacart.com.
Okay.
And then you download their shopper app from your app store, Play Store, whatever kind of device you have. And then you just do the sign up process online, which is free. And then you have a background check that you have to go through.
Oh, you do? Okay. I was just going to ask about qualifications.
Yeah.
So.
And then the only qualifications and requirements that you have to be an Instacart shopper are you got to be 18 years old, have legal authorization to work in the United States, be able to lift 40 pounds with reasonably no accommodations.
40 pounds. Some big meals.
Here are the bags,
Oh, I guess if you're going
groceries.
groceries.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. I'm thinking Chipotle, but
And then you got to have a reasonable access to a car and a smartphone.
Okay.
Other than that, all you have to do is they give you a card to pay for the groceries and you pay for the groceries, you get the information from the app that you have, and then you just deliver them, and you get paid to deliver groceries.
Can't beat it.
No, and it's really easy to sign up and do it.
Now, does the grocery store have to be like on board with this? You have to be like a
I don't-
registered grocery store? Or is it really
I'm not sure about
anywhere?
that,
Okay.
but I know a bunch of people in the area do it. Like I believe Whole Foods is part of the program.
I know Aldi's is.
Oh,
Yeah.
this is okay.
So it's a really great resource.
Whole Foods is a little bit of a
especially-
drive all the way into town.
Let them drive and deliver it.
Yeah.
If it's
Exactly.
available.
Might be a big delivery bill. I don't know. I'm assuming it's based on distance and things
Yeah.
like that. So,
Because a bunch of these food places, you have like so much area you can like cover whenever you're asking for food to be delivered.
okay.
Yeah. So that's like the grocery end of food delivery.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Now you can also, I'm going to talk about DoorDash because
Okay.
that's the one I know
Yeah,
about.
that's, I use DoorDash the
Mhm.
most.
So
So
all the
it's-
cool kids are using these days.
Yeah, well, my kids use them every day. We
Yeah.
have an account, so
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, it's very easy.
Hook right up to your credit card, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, it is, it
Oh,
is.
yeah.
So
They
I've
have
used
gift
it
cards too for
Oh,
DoorDash
do
and
they?
Shop and Save that I know that if you want to give the gift of DoorDash, you
Yeah.
can do that as well.
Exactly.
It is convenient,
It's
because
really
a
convenient.
lot of restaurants, I know they can't like afford to have their own delivery
Mhm,
driver or something like
mhm.
that, or, like a traditional restaurant that you're just
Yeah.
going to sit down at wouldn't, have a delivery service.
Mhm.
But if you're like, oh, I really want, I don't know,
Well, in a lot
pasta
of
from
small
D'Annunzio's
towns-
today, first one that popped to mind, it's like, oh yeah, DoorDash will do it,
Mhm.
So not just a pizza place or Chinese food or something like traditionally delivered,
Yeah.
so.
And not working there, but being a participant of DoorDash, they have specials. So sometimes you pay for the delivery fee and sometimes they have, if you spend $15, then your delivery is
Yeah.
free.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's really beneficial as far as that,
So that's-
from a
yeah,
buyer's end.
Exactly. The consumer end is really easy to participate in. All you got to do is set up your account and if you want to put in your credit card information or you can do a gift card.
Mhm.
Really easy. And there's a bunch of restaurants, no matter where you live. Now, if you want to be a DoorDash like driver,
Yeah,
all you have to do is sign up on their website.
okay.
It's pretty much it.
Now, do you have to put in like make and model of your car? Because like I know when I did the Uber thing like a long time ago, you had to have a car that was under 100,000 miles and, things like that, so.
The requirements I was able to find were that you have to have some sort of transportation and
Okay.
insurance.
Okay.
That could even be a bike,
Oh, you can
scooter,
bike, okay.
anything, as long as you have a form of transportation. And if you have a car, you have to have your own insurance. 'Cause They're
Gotcha.
not going to pay for your own insurance.
Right,
And I don't know if this is legit or not, but I know a lot of people that do DoorDash deliveries and they actually have their kids in the car.
Mhm.
Oh,
Oh,
really?
yeah.
So they're, you're just
works.
going to a restaurant now.
Yeah.
Usually you're not even going in, you're pulling up to a drive-through or they have
Drop
special
in.
places just for DoorDash.
Mhm.
They bring the food out to you
Yeah.
and, you bring it. They usually take a picture of where they left the food
Mhm.
Okay.
and then text it to you. So then you know that
Yeah.
it was left on your porch and so on. I've,
It's great.
again, I've had really good experience
Yeah.
with it.
That's cool. I like
So-
that. So how much can you make, Anna? That's what we're all wondering.
It all depends on what you do. So like DoorDash, it depends on how much you work, but it can be found somewhere between like $14 to $17 an hour.
Oh, okay, that much.
So it's really nice. And the same thing with Instacart. You make your own schedule. You can do it on your own time.
Yeah.
You can do it whenever you want to do it.
Yeah.
And you get paid like enough to
Yes.
make a little bit of extra money that you want.
Yeah. I think that's
And
the
you
biggest.
tip as
Yeah.
well, they get
Right,
tips.
okay,
So
I was gonna ask
I
about
know
tips.
with DoorDash and Uber Eats that whenever you do your order, it'll automatically show you what 20% is, 10% is, 15%, and then you can add that, or you can add another, or you can leave cash for them as
Yeah.
well. So I would think the tips would be,
We're
Right,
really
yeah.
making your money.
especially now, like at the
Oh, yeah.
holidays and with COVID, I think people are very generous,
Oh, yeah.
with services that they're getting that they normally don't get, so.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think it's great. I mean, from a workforce standpoint, it's like you just said this, it's when you can do it. So if you get off work at 3 o'clock, then
Yep.
maybe you do it from 3 to 6.
Yeah.
and, You still have, okay, you go home and eat dinner, with your family or whatever. And then, hey, if you want to do it from
Couple
8 to
more hours.
9 after that or
Yeah.
whatever, you can just pick it up and do it, I know like regular Uber, that was the biggest thing with that. Like I was driving back and forth from Erie a lot, so the reason I thought of it was like, hey, if I'm driving back from Erie to Greensburg, then maybe I can come into Pittsburgh and do a couple of rides and make a
Yeah.
little bit of money. And
Or even people going from Erie to Pittsburgh, like from
Yeah.
the schools,
Right.
colleges and so on.
yeah, when I went to school in Erie, we had like, old school.
Yeah.
Like a little bulletin board that you
Right,
sign
right.
up, like, I'm driving to Meadville today, anybody need a
Yeah.
ride, then you get $20 for gas or whatever. But, with the technology now,
Yeah.
it's so much more hip and fun,
Oh,
so.
Yeah, you just
Yes.
dated yourself saying hip.
Hip,
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Don't ever
here.
say that again.
So that's the food side of making some side hustles. Now you can, if you're a creative person, both men and women, there's an Etsy shop.
Mhm.
I love Etsy. There's
Yes.
a bunch of just random things you can find on there, but it's all homemade by artists.
Mhm.
And you can find anything from tablecloths to really expensive jewelry.
Mhm.
I do a little bit of embroidery.
Mhm.
So say if I wanted to start a little bit of an embroidery shop on Etsy, all you have to do, go onto their website, open an Etsy page, do a couple of specifics, meaning what do I want my language to be in? What kind of billing do I want? What kind of currency? Create your name and you're up and going.
Wow.
As long as you've got product, you're good.
Okay, Etsy, ETSY,
Mhm.
Etsy.
And it's really nice if you're wanting some specific things for people that you can't find at like a Walmart.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes, very personalized. I've found that you can request specific
Mhm.
things. So if they make something one way, you could maybe go to that seller and
Yeah.
say, can you do it in a different font? Can you do it in
Customize it
a
a
different
little.
color? And you can customize it. A lot of things are like personalized with somebody's name.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've seen a lot of like woodworking. That's
Exactly,
huge
yeah.
now.
Okay.
Yeah,
You were saying with, people doing different things, like everything's made of wood now.
Yeah.
So, that a lot of people sell stuff on there. And it's nice to give to a local person, a local business, that they are making something homemade rather than the big ticket stores
Right.
where,
Mhm.
where I know a lot of people are struggling now.
Yeah.
So,
So is it usually like Anna McClain doing embroidery? Or is it kind of like, I have a small shop making umbrellas and I'm gonna do these cool personalized polka dot umbrellas, and they just go on Etsy as like another way to attract
Well,
sales?
so a lot of people right now have created masks.
Okay.
So a lot of Etsy pages now, not a lot, but like a brand new
Mhm.
style of Etsy is just a mask page. Well, you create your own brand, basically your own logo. You can create if you want. It's a really nice way to do a creative style, but you can create anything you want. So there's everything from homemade tools to woodwork to baby clothing to anything in between. And you can have like little
Baby clothing.
baby
I need
clothing.
that.
yeah, there you go. Little monogram sweater.
Little monogram
Yeah.
sweater.
Yeah.
AI, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
But it's a really great way, and you can set up your own prices.
Oh,
So say you
yeah,
have
yeah.
a mask, you don't want a $40 mask,
right.
but if you want to have you can do a special, say
Mhm.
buy 5 masks, it'll cost you
You get
$20
quantity
instead of
discount,
55.
yeah.
Yeah.
So have you done it? Have you sold stuff on Etsy?
I have not, but
Okay.
a bunch I have one friend that sells masks off of Etsy. I
Mhm.
bought a lot off of Etsy
Mhm.
because it's really nice and personal.
And has he or she made a good bit of money doing it, or?
I'm assuming yes.
Yeah,
And
okay.
also you can use that site to also help donate to an organization if you
Oh.
want.
There's a donate page on our website, guys, just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, get a little plug in.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
it eliminates that overhead too. You were talking about having a store. You could
Yeah.
have a store and an Etsy page, but you could also just have the Etsy
Just
page.
have the
So
Etsy
then you don't
page.
have the overhead of having a store or a shop
Yeah,
or
do it right out of your
Yeah,
house.
do it
or
right out of your
whatever.
house.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And with shipping and so on, it's so easy.
I'm a little familiar with Etsy. Well, my wife's familiar with Etsy.
Yes.
I shouldn't say I am, but she's bought stuff off there. And I know the one thing that she doesn't like about it, at least from a consumer
Mhm.
standpoint, is you really got to check the lead times
Mm.
on things.
Mhm.
And she was saying like all the nice stuff, quote unquote, was from like overseas and like England or
Oh,
Switzerland
okay,
or Norway
okay.
or something like that. And so the lead time's like 2.5 months,
Yeah,
by the time
yeah.
they make it, ship it and
I
everything.
wonder if there's a way that you
So,
can search local, like
There probably is.
Mhm. that you can look for local businesses or within
Yeah,
your zip
like-
code or. you
Well, and
know,
that's
something.
what
Yeah.
she would look just for like United States and the little, thing.
Mhm.
because then she would know, like, okay, the lead time's probably under 2 weeks or whatever, you know. But that, for holiday shopping, like if you got on Etsy right now on December 9th, is it? Yeah, you know, it would probably be like, I don't know if you'd be able to get it for Christmas, you know, so.
And
But
they
if
are
you,
personalized, so you have to give them a little bit
Yeah,
of time to
exactly.
do that. You're not
Yeah.
buying something off the shelf. You're
Yeah.
buying something that somebody's taken the time to.
do, that's.
So,
yeah,
you know,
it's
put
like,
something on, make.
I'm gonna embroider this like whole like ugly sweater for you. It's gonna take a while.
Right.
So, I saw you had shipped on here too, which this was something I just recently used, because I was buying something on Best Buy and it said have it delivered for free in like a week and a half or next day with shipped. And I'm like, oh, what's this ship thing?
Yeah, what is
So,
that?
I guess it's just like a delivery service. Like it was in stock here at the Greensburg one.
Okay.
And so I guess like a guy just from sure like Instacart or DoorDash, they go to Best Buy and said, hey, there's this online order for Alec, you know, and it was, by the next day, it was right on my house. So, and I think there's like a range, you know, it's not like, they're not going to drive from Cleveland down here to do it, but you know, okay, it was in stock here at Best Buy, you know, I have a 15601 zip code, you know, boom, you know, deliver it. So I just thought it was funny. It was like, oh, free in a week and a half or free to have it by next day. It's like, who wouldn't do it next day? It was actually,
I know we're not talking about like big stores, but you know, Amazon, that's one that everybody goes to. But I know that with stuff that I've ordered, they give you the choice. Do you want it in 2 days? It would be free. If you get it extended, so say, oh, I don't care if it comes next week, you can choose that option. It's still free, but then they give you a credit. So it's like $1 credit or a $2 credit for different things. And we'll usually use those credits for movies. You know, to rent movies on Amazon Prime and so on. So it's kind of like, okay, do I need it in 2 days or can I wait till next week? And we've kind of wrapped up a lot of like credits for that. That we can watch some free movies and stuff.
Well, it's funny you said that because when I was looking at it, I'm like, oh, you know, I really don't need this, you know, I need it for Christmas. So I was like, I'd hate to make it inconvenient for someone to like really break their neck. But I have to say it really worked out for me because when it came, I realized I bought the wrong one. It had like the wrong adapter on it or the specific thing I was buying. I can't say, my wife's probably not watching, but you know, it's for her. So, so then I was able to return it to the store and I had plenty of time to do that. Where if it came later and then, you know, shipping delays and everything like that, I would have been SOL come Christmas morning. So there you go.
So we also have
What else we got on here?
a thing for online techie people. So there's a thing called Survey Junkie. You just get paid to take surveys.
Wow.
It's not nearly as much as you would get paid to do like a DoorDash or Instacart, but all you gotta do is hit the join button on their website and you take surveys and it's useful for businesses. So they're collecting data basically.
I did something like this. It wasn't Survey Junkie. It was like G2 or something weird like that. And
there's a bunch of different ones.
You like reviewed, it was about softwares really. So I was like, okay, I'll review Photoshop. And then they gave me like $10 for, I think it was Starbucks or something like that. So they would just give you gift cards for doing these surveys. I was like, okay, I did it like 3 or 4 times. Not that they catch on, but.
It's really simple.
So that's a good one.
And then you can also, if you're on another person who's like very techie, there's like website testing. Also great for if say you're really tech savvy and you can say, this button doesn't work, you need to make sure you do this coding or something like that. Or you don't even have to be tech savvy at all. You can just say, this layout doesn't work right, it doesn't make sense to me.
Get that free feedback.
It's great information for businesses and you get paid to do it.
Usertesting.com, huh? Okay, wow, look at that. We learned so much.
Another thing that you didn't have on the list that I was thinking, because we are on Facebook Live, that Facebook Marketplace.
That's right.
You clean out your kid's bedroom and you have some extra stuff and, you know, before I take it to donate it, I do try to sell it on there and I sell it for inexpensive, but say you get $10 for something, that's $10 then that you can return into your family. So, and I do local pickup or sometimes porch pickup where somebody just comes to my porch, picks it up. I leave an envelope inside the door and, you know, and
a little bit of trust there.
Yeah, a little bit of trust, but you can also, you can accept PayPal, you can, you know, accept other means that you're not exchanging cash. But it's been very profitable for me and, you know, given a little bit of cash in my pocket for stuff. And then whatever I don't get rid of, I end up donating and
Donating.
somebody else wins on that as well.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it's a nice, easy, free way to, to
You
sell,
can get
to sell your
they
stuff.
give you a tax, you can get a
Yes.
tax credit at Goodwill.
Goodwill
or
and
donate.
Christian Layman, there's so
Christian
many like that are right
Layman.
here in the area. So
I'm trying to think of the other one that's downtown.
St. Vincent de Paul.
Thank you, St.
You're
Vincent de
welcome.
Paul store, yeah. Love the one in
YWCA.
Greensburg, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot
So-
just right in Greensburg.
Yeah.
You could just walk right around and hit them all.
I was using Craigslist. I was like, I always love Craigslist, but Marketplace is a little bit more, I feel like, you can like see the person.
Mhm.
Yes, you could see their
Craigslist
profile
Can be a
and,
little shady at
Yeah,
times,
yeah.
so. It was funny. I was just picking up my baby the other day at the Kohl's in Irwin, and I saw like
you
two
were picking up
cars.
your baby at Kohl's and Irwin.
Well, no, that sounded terrible.
I was going there too.
That was the rendezvous point
Yeah.
for my mother-in-law who lives in Little Boston there outside of Pittsburgh. And it must be like a very renowned rendezvous spot. It is right there by like Turnpike and everything,
yeah.
because there was like 2 or 3 other cars you could see like next to each other. And one of them was, I think it was a Craigslist or a Facebook Marketplace thing,
Yeah.
because she brought this like wooden snowman out and handed her $10 or whatever, and then threw it in her thing and was on her way. So I thought it was funny, but
Definitely.
my little story. Yes, I was picking up my child from my mother-in-law.
You didn't leave
It's
your
all
child at
very
Kohl's all
legal.
day,
Yeah,
just to be clear.
no. Child labor law problems already, so. So yeah, I thought that was a good point.
Yeah.
Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist, I use Craigslist a lot, but I think it's kind of, I don't know.
There's a couple of different ones, but I
Trends.
like Facebook for those reasons that you
Yeah.
said, and sometimes I'm buying from somebody that I graduated high school
Yeah.
with.
Yeah,
It's like, oh my
Like,
gosh,
oh, I
it's
haven't
you.
seen you,
And you have that connection and you're swapping things.
it is
And
more community based like that.
There are a lot of people that will say, I'll trade this too. So it's not just money exchange, that I'll trade this item for this item because I want that one more or
Yeah.
something. So I think it's a great way to
Okay,
make a little bit of money.
I'm ready to go sign up and make a little extra.
I know, we're all gonna
Yeah,
leave here.
yeah.
We'll be like, signing up for all
Be
these
doing some
things.
surveys on my lunch hour here,
Yeah.
make a little bit of extra money, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's good. I didn't know all that about DoorDash, and I don't know if we have Postmates out here. I have heard of it, but all these different ones, so. All right, next time we can.
Uber Eats is local as
Mhm.
well.
Is it? Okay.
It's all about who's in the area. Like I've logged on before to DoorDash and it'll say, like if we're gonna order Chipotle,
Mhm.
it'll say it's not available right now. Well, I think
Okay.
that just means that there's nobody available to pick it up right
Yeah.
now. It doesn't mean that they're not open or you couldn't go
Just like
there.
if you're
but-
doing a regular Uber or Lyft ride, okay, there's no one available, there's nobody
Yeah.
signed
Yeah.
up right now,
Yeah.
so. Which that's another good way to make a little extra money is to sign up to be Uber or
Uber, yeah.
Lyft, so we talked about that a little bit, but if you have a good
Just
car.
make sure you're
um,
safe with it.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, why, do you have some horror stories?
No, no.
Yeah, You hear things. I mean, you
Yeah.
are
You do
picking up
hear
a
things,
stranger,
yeah.
in your vehicle and sometimes you are alone. So you wanna be safe.
Mhm.
Definitely, I know, it was always the thing, when that first came out, I was like, oh, how safe is it?
Yeah,
Like,
don't get into a car with a stranger and
Yeah.
you're telling your,
Which I guess
your
is-
college
Yeah,
student to,
exactly.
you just use Uber.
Yeah, which is like, okay, taxi, I guess you're doing the same thing, it's just like, where they, screened or have a
Mhm.
background check or something like that done, so. I was gonna add, I don't know if you know the answer to this, for all these like part-time workers, are you like an independent contractor when you do this? Like, do you have to pay taxes
I
on?
don't know,
the
to
money
be
that you
honest.
I'm guessing you would get a 1099 and
That's
have to
what-
claim
like,
it
are
at
you
the end of the
1099
year.
and stuff like
That's my
that? Yeah.
guess. I don't know for sure,
Yeah,
but
which a lot of people get that confused, I know, it's like, oh, you, like Uber, I know was in a lawsuit about this, like, are the people employees, are they not employees, and, because a lot of, I had an independent contracting, contract at one point, and now my dad, Mr. Accountant, was like, make sure 20% of that, you're putting it,
yes.
away, you're not using that money because you will have to pay taxes on that. So if you do go out and take advantage of some of these things, be
Yeah.
careful to save a little extra money because, come April, you're gonna have to pay some of that back in
Mhm.
taxes. So.
Yeah.
So that's my only legal disclaimer.
Yeah.
All right, so that was a nice conversation,
Yeah, I
everybody.
don't know how
So,
long we went, but
all right, we'll see you next time. Have a good week.
Okay, happy holidays.
bye, everybody.